If you're in a sales conversation and every single time you seem to always get the same objections over and over again, things like, oh, I'm interested but I don't have the budget, or let me speak to my partner first, or this thing is not the right time for us to do this, whatever it might be, today in this video, in this training, I'm going to walk you through the process that you want to be able to have in place and just how adding this one small tiny element as part of your conversation is going to be able to handle and manage that objection right at the start and position you as the expert and the authority and not just a typical salesperson. So to set you some context, how I discovered this technique is literally after doing it on the world's largest stages on events, my own events, other people's events, the big rooms, the small rooms. And one of the things that I would do is I want to be able to qualify and see who might be a good fit to work together with me utilizing events. Now, after that, I'll get people to apply, and then my team would get on a call with them to see if we might be the right fit for each other. And one of the things we'll realize is every single time we do these calls, there are going to be some objections that constantly happen over and over again. And one of the things that we did in order to minimize this friction is utilizing upfront contracts. And basically what upfront contracts are is just thinking about the main objection that you constantly get all the time and bring it forward. So the way you would think about that is kind of like, let's take a very common one like prices. Oh, this thing is outside of my budget. If you feel that this is an objection that you get every single time, and the problem is every single time you or somebody from your team engages in this conversation, and after spending 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and then at the end they will be saying, oh, but this is too expensive for me. What you want to be able to do is to take that and bring it forward right at the start of the conversation. Here's how this would sound like. This would be, so before we begin, I just want to be able to mention that working together with us begins at price point, and is this an amount that's comfortable for you? Now, guess what? If they're saying, oh, wait a second, I thought working with you is like a $50 thing, or whatever it is, right? So right at the start, you've set the expectation, and this is when they'll be going, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? This amount, it's out of my budget. You'll know that they're maybe not ready or not qualified there and then. So rather than having this thing drag out for a full 45 minutes, it now ends within a couple of minutes. Or it could be the case of maybe one of the things that you always get is, I'll think about it first, right? Let me speak to my key decision makers, right? So maybe if you feel like this is something you always get, bring it forward. So this would be like, so before we begin, I just want to be able to make sure that the main key decision makers are in the room right now, because I want to be able to make sure I'm able to maximize your time, and I'm sure you want to be able to, make sure that we are able to maximize, or rather not waste both of our times. So I just want to make sure if all key decision makers are in this conversation right now, right? So bring that forward. If you feel that it's always about, oh, you know what, right at the end, people always wait right at the end to tell me that they can't afford it. Maybe your upfront contract could be, at any given time in this conversation, if you feel that you might not be the right fit for this offer, or we might not be the right fit for each other, I want to give you full permission to let me know at any given time of this conversation, because unlike the typical salesperson, I want to make sure that, I want to be able to make sure that we can actually serve you. So at any given time in this conversation, if you feel that we might not be the right fit for each other, just let us know, right? So now you make them, first of all, what happens? You make them feel a lot more comfortable. You're able to literally put your guard down, right, by being very transparent, but at the same time, that's what you're giving them permission to do as well, to be really honest with you, so that you're not wasting each other's time. Now you can do this for your prices, you can do this for budget, you can do this for key decision makers, you can do this for, if you feel that every single time, you know what, people every single time tell me, oh, you know what, I'll think about it, right? Guess what? Put it in your upfront contract. So this would be maybe at the start, it would be like, look, we've done these calls a lot of times, and every single time the answer we get is, I'll think about it. Let's be honest. Chances are I'm going to go through all of the offers, or rather the entire offer over here with you. And would it be okay with you that if you have any questions at the end, ask me during this session? Because let's face it, I would really appreciate if you can give a definitive yes or no, and either is fine, right? But all I'm asking is that we make a decision by this date, by the end of this call, by Wednesday, by Monday. Would that be okay, right? So now there's this upfront contract that there's going to be this decision that's made either by the end of this call or by next Monday or by the end of the month. So now you don't have to be the one that constantly follows with them, because guess what? It's probably not going to look good on you and they probably don't appreciate it either. So think about how you can apply this upfront contract. Let me know in the comments below which one do you think you'll be utilizing is going to be something else. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the subscribe button, switch on the notification bell. And if you want to get really good at selling to the masses, selling high ticket, be sure to binge watch this entire playlist, and I'll see you in the next video.